Will you read an excerpt for us today?
From?
A poem, any poem of your choice.
A poem. You mind if I get my glasses? They're right there.
That's fine.
Okay.
A few moments later.
All right.
I call this 90s tribute. And it sort of captures, I lived in New York from 1991 to 2001. And it was the height of a lot of things, including clubbing and fashion, the birth of the supermodel and the birth of the big designer names, and but this is called 90s Tribute. I know the time we had Lauryn Hill on replay, and we fell in love with Lucien Pelefine, the first of its kind in Nolita, Creed the perfumer leading the way, when we didn't guard what we had to say. I long again for that day. At a flea market, we bought that coat saddle leather just to gloat. Shopping and a brunch on a Sunday before India Reed was India's throat. Before another galaxy was a note, when queens were paupers and kinky sex was with poppers, and Klein meant sheet and Lauren meant jodhpurs. Hookups were callers and girlfriend pallbearers for fallen ballers, voters and beloved house fathers. Not yet anybody, me and the girls, so funny, and these cheapies, Domseys, Pat Fields. You paid the rent and you did with ease. The roaring but not forgotten 90s. Some of us were no longer friends, and designer John Bartlett had made it by then. Byron Lars was too, and Miguel Ardova, Muslim chic and done and over. Don't trust me, ask Anna Winter. Beeping and two-way paging had their say, and many who are still on top today. Some still sing and some yet to see their way. Rambles and night joints, the thing we would do all the way before September 11. John Denver gone and two John Kennedy Jr. and the former Miss Bissett. The news of a generation now net set. Doth come it did when networking won, and to make it, it was easier to be a son. The roaring 90s, a time in the past, that through this I will to last, when a good breakfast was still at a diner, before honey wheat, sweet corn and agave for starter, the time of Gerlina for Micah and Lady Bunny too, under the trees in Central Park, came then Bungalow 5, the different stark, before there was no more getting stoned in Washington Square Park, where men sold tarragon and time. Around this time, the gay rapper on our mind, Dannenberg came out and Kate Spade too, Doc Martens and Fluvog, the choice of shoe. Drum and bass was tricky and Goldie too. Everything but the girl, Porter said a movement true and new. Blunts, shade, fierce and 40s, all a thing before the 2000 noughties. Crackling chicken in the Dominican joint, uptown fish and chips always on point. Stew oxtail and curry chicken. We take a gypsy cab when in a hurry. Lincoln town cars long before Uber. Miss Fields in the city after the trade were no longer. Bedouins abounded or a ubiquitous one. Boudoirs were scented with jasmine, nat, champa, and myrrh, with closets of Matsuda and Homme. Louis Vuitton was the shoe, and two Jimmy Choo. Blue ribbon dinners for best in show. Size 2 was in, fashion like thin, LOL. Some deconstructed, yet some layered as we approached the end. 1999, more than a song by Prince. Not much happened when all said and done. Not much at all, but a decade of fun.
I enjoyed that. I was around for some of that. Not like around, but away. Away.
Yeah.
I loved it. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Sure. I do hope your listeners enjoy it as well. Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I think.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad.
To whom it makes sense will also enjoy it.
Right.
Because for a lot of these, today when I was getting my hair done.
And done it is.
And done it is. The hairdresser was talking about rotatory phones, and she was just like, her grandchildren have never seen one.
Right.
So I think for some of the younger viewers, like when you got into like beepers and pagers, I know they will have no clue.
Right. But that's what we do, because when I lived in New York in the 90s, everybody referenced the 70s as the heyday. 20 years before it was like, the Studio 54 and Andy Warhol and Halston and all these things that we only heard about, but they were considered the things. Yeah, and last year, not this last year, maybe a year or two ago, I said to myself, wait a second. If in the 90s we were talking about how great the 70s was, why can't 20 years later we talk about how great the 90s was? And 90s fashion has come back. 90s, 80s is still the predominant sort of aesthetic, but I think there's time for the 90s to sort of be revisited and sort of seen for what it was worth.
A lot of the popular songs now have that old 80s feel, I find. But a lot of the R&B is going back to that 90s feel, because I feel as though we kind of
that sample on the "There's some hoes in this house, there's some hoes." That's the 90s song, right?
Oh, it's a sample? I did not know that.
Oh my gosh, there's a whole song. There's a whole song to that. That's what I'm saying. That's 90s. See,
there's a whole...
Fair started in the 90s. Like the use of the word fairs. I mean, well, it sort of got really popular in New York in the 90s. Like, and it had multiple meanings. It wasn't just something that was good. It could have been something that was really nasty. Like, you did that, that's fierce. Or, I don't trust that child. She's really fierce, in the American.
I really thought that term was popularized by Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model.
By?
Tyra Banks on America's Next Top Model.
Wow, right. Yeah. But maybe
that's what I first heard it in heavy rotation.
It's been in the vernacular since the 90s, probably even before that. Yeah.
I think the most recent song that has that 90s feel, there's a rap song now called Bust It, and there's a Bust It challenge on TikTok and Instagram.
Listen to me, I am only listening to Soca Reon. What are you talking about? I haven't
listened to Soca. And it samples a old Nelly song. If I can make it Soca related, last year when Swappy did Feeling It, where he sampled
Baron.
That's the most recent song I feel would give me an old feel. I think not a lot of, but some of Nadia Batson's songs takes you back. Like I always tell my sister, she has a little best villaginess in some of her songs. Mm-hmm. But nothing that I've heard in rotation this year, I think, gives me that throwback feeling. Well, so we're almost done. This is the speed round. It's one of the fun segments here that I love, and a lot of viewers. So here we go.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite author?
Baldwin.
Favorite poet?
Alice Walker.
Favorite poem?
Wow. There are too many. There are really too many. Favorite poem? There is something I read. I would say it's really dark, but it's written in the voice of Adolf Hitler's wife as she prepares the cyanide to give the children to take before the army comes for them. And it's a poem that captures that moment where, not Hitler's wife, but who was his communications man? Yeah, the one, I forget his name, but his wife's voice. And I can't remember the name. I'll share it with you, Reon, but it really is my favorite poem. It's dark, but it's funny and it's well written. Yeah, I can't remember who wrote it, but it exists.
Okay. Well, we can always get your name and put it down in the description bar.
Yes, I will.
What's your favorite book?
The Bible.
Nice. When Soca Full Mih Mouth, because it is the basic instructions.
It's almost like a living book. It's almost like a living book. It's one of those books that you could pick up, open it down to any page, and it seems to be speaking immediately into what's happening in your life in a way, in some way. It's really a magical book to me.
That is so true.
Yes.
That is so true. So when Soca Full Mih Mouth is your first album, what's your favorite album?
My favorite album is Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder.
Nice.
It's a double album. It gave us hits like Send Her Your Love with a dozen roses. Make sure that she knows it. Put a flower from your heart. Oh my gosh. It gave us a lot of hits, but it's a tribute to plant life, and it is the most beautiful journey ever for me, musically.
For you?
Yeah.
When Soca Full Mih Mouth is your first album, do you remember the first album you ever bought?
Yes, it was Michael Jackson's Farewell, My Summer Love.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Other than yourself, who's your favorite radio personality?
Ooh. Rachel Price?
Mine too.
I know, yeah. I mean, not that we're, but oh gosh. I love Rachel Price. I really do. I think she's so funny. And you talk about capturing that Best Village. I think Best Village captures Trinidad. So when you talk about something being kind of Best Village, I think of it as being kind of Trinidad. And that's what I like about Rachel. She's very Trinidadian. Same way Nadi has a way of nuancing Trinidad, like a real kind of, she's almost a caricature of that Trini woman, in her performance. And Rachel is kind of like that as well. I find her very entertaining. I find her very knowledgeable on a wide range of subjects. She's consistent, if not fair.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
She's willing to stand by what she says, Yeah, she ranks up there for me as a top radio personality.
I love her and I love Abby on Star 947. I don't know if you listen to Star 947. As a man that loves local and soca, it wouldn't be a station to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
But my appreciation for pop takes me there. What is the biggest difference between media now and when you started?
Social media. WhatsApp. A lot of information gets, there was a time when you had to have a source or a link to get information. Now you just had to be in the right WhatsApp group. And you can get all the information.
You can get all the scores.
All the tea. All the tea.
Scores. All the tea. All the tea.
Yes.
All right. 2 more. You named your album When Soca Full Mih Mouth. Who is your favorite soca artist?
Baron.
And the last question is, what's your favorite soca song?
Wow. Can it be a soca ballad?
It can be a soca ballad.
All right. There's a song called Too Early. I mean, Reon, you can't ask me to pick one. Sorry, you cannot. I refuse to take that bait. It was bad enough saying not saying Marshall, not saying, because in recent years, Marshall's catalog has grown so much that he just sort of overpowers everybody in terms of the body of work that he has. It's hard for him not to be a favorite. But in terms of true time tested, not that Marshall, Baron boy, but Elysian Fields, I was here before on this same dance floor, trying to party, but in vain. Here I am once more with and you will see. Now I go party. I go party. I getting on wassy. I getting on wassy. I come back rehearsing. I come back rejoicing. I go.
We go party nice this time.
You know it.
I do.
That's among my favorites.
Okay, I can feel that.
Yeah.
All right, Sterling, thank you so much for coming on. It was amazing having you on.
Thank you.
Please let the viewers know, where can they get your album?
Well, it's available in CD. It's been available in CD since Christmas and it's been doing well locally. So you can get it at paper-based bookstore at Normandy Hotel. There are copies there. You can get them locally. And online, you can get it at Bandcamp or iTunes or any of the major streaming or downloading platforms. But I prefer if you get it at Bandcamp. Yeah.
Nice. So what I will do is put all those links in the description bar below. Thanks, Sterling. Thank you so much for coming on. You guys don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you do not miss when new episodes come out. And until next time, bye.